Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Sean from Ridesharing101.com. And today on the daily vlog, I want to talk to you about picking up and dropping off from some of the big box stores like Safeway, Best Buy, Home Depot, Office Max, places like that, because you have the potential of running into trouble. Now, before that, I've got my 7-Eleven coffee. I want to thank Linda, one of the viewers up in Oregon, who saw the vlog of me talking about 7-Eleven coffee and sent me a few bucks so I could afford my 7-Eleven coffee habit. So I really want to thank Linda for that. I think it's also equally funny that out of just sort of fun, I sent the video to 7-Eleven. And of course, I haven't heard anything from them, but Linda sent me a few bucks so I could get coffee. So props to Linda, and 7-Eleven, you fell a little short. So here we go. I had the tip of the day number 6 where I talk about nitrile gloves. I still have them on. I am at the day job on my break, and I'm working with irrigation, so I have the nitrile gloves on. So if you're wondering, it's not like, what was it? Oh gosh, Serenity, where the men in blue, or the men with the blue gloves. Anyway, for those of you who don't geek out on stuff like that, never mind. Getting back on track about dropping people off or picking people up from the big box stores. Picking up is a little more, you need to be a little more careful about that than dropping off. But let's kind of go into some basic philosophy. You as an Uber driver are getting paid to drop people off. You're getting paid to transfer people from point A to point B, to transport, I should say. Now, sometimes they may have multiple stops, but that should be programmed in to the app. It should say first stop, and I think they're allowed 2 stops, but they need to program that in. And that that's something that Uber encourages, because you get into problems if you can't really do that if you are doing Uber Pool, and it's only fair that you know what's going on, so there are no surprises. Now, when you drop people off, especially at some place like, let's say, Safeway, sometimes passengers expect you to wait. And my policy is I don't wait. Or if I do, it's only going to be a couple of minutes. For instance, if they left something behind and they're just going to pick it up, that's one thing. But if they're going to do shopping, no. And I tell people, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, sir, I do not wait. You need to request another ride. I don't get paid enough to wait. My time is very valuable. There are other fares that I need to pick up. And if they say, well, I'm only going to be a few minutes, one, they're lying. It's never, ever a few minutes. If they say, oh, you know what? I have to pick up my paycheck. Okay. Or I was here an hour ago and I left the milk on the counter and I'm just coming back to pick it up. Okay. That's all right. That is something I'll do. You have to figure out if that's something that you're willing to do, but in most cases, okay. If they say, oh, I'm just going to do some shopping, I just have a few things to pick up. No, it's never a few things. The line is always long. You're not getting paid enough. They could be in there for 20 minutes and you might get like $2. It's definitely not worth it. You need to be careful because sometimes they'll just get out the door. Oh, no, I'll just be a few minutes. I'm just going to leave my bag here. I've had a lot of people try that one. And you're like, nope, I am not waiting. I will leave your bag on the sidewalk. And then they'll give you attitude. What? No, you can't do that. Hey, it's your car. You can do whatever you want. Now, you don't have to leave it on the sidewalk. You can take it to the hub, but just don't take it with you. And basically, I just cancel the ride and I'm off. I've never had anybody leave in the car after I've told them no, that I'm not going to do that. Now, understand, they will give you a 1 rating. That's just how it's going to be. But some people that are that inconsiderate, they're going to leave you a 1 rating no matter what. So just leave them a 1, even if they say, oh, I'll give you a good rating, I'll give you a tip. No, they never tip. They won't give you a good rating. You can either believe me or don't, but my experience, it's always, it's never a tip. The rating might be okay, but, I'm not going to take the chance. So I never wait. And in fact, as I'm approaching the store, I'll say, okay, I'm just dropping you off, right? Because I can't wait. I verify that. So before they get out, there's no question. So are you going to the Safeway? Oh yeah, I'm doing a little shopping. Okay, well, I have to drop you off. I can't wait for you. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I know, I'll be a while. Or if they'd be like, wait, what? Why not? Because I have other fares to get. I don't get paid to wait. Uber doesn't pay me. And well, the other drivers, and if they use that, they're going to be a pain. And it's like, well, ma'am, you were very lucky, sir. You must have been your lucky day, because nobody I know does that. So if you got a driver that did that, I hope you tip them a lot. Okay? Mention tipping. Reinforce that idea in their mind. But the bigger problem you're going to have is on pickup. So if you get an address, and a lot of times you don't know the address of the Home Depot, of the Lowe's, of the Target. So if you've got an address and you're going there and all of a sudden on the screen it says Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, first thing you do is lock the doors. Because you don't want somebody just opening your door and then all of a sudden there's a cart and they're throwing stuff into your car. Especially people will try to do this stuff on a pool ride. No. That is not going to fly. They're not occupying your seats on a pool ride. Can't do it. What happens when you get another request and there's no space? They're taking food out of your mouth. They're taking money out of your pocket. So you roll up and say, if you see some stuff, you say, hey, is this your stuff? Or they might be by a shopping cart, and they'd be like, yes, it is. They're like, well, I can only take it if it all fits in the trunk and I can close it. You don't want them to request that you put the seat down, something sticking out that you need to put a red flag on. At least that's the law in California. So you need to be upfront when you pull up, because if they're like, well, it's not going to fit, then you need to say, well, sir, ma'am, I'm sorry. This is an Uber X. It's a 4-door car made to transfer or transport people. If you need to transport goods, you need either an Uber SUV or an Uber XL. And if they say, well, that's too much, then you tell them, well, ma'am, sir, like I said, this is an Uber X. It's for transporting people, not cargo. That stuff, that's going to damage my car. I'm sorry. And then just cancel it. Because once you cancel, they know you're not going to give them a ride. Right? It's canceled. You're not giving them a ride for free. And you'd be like, I'm sorry, I'll cancel you. You won't be charged. And you can get the proper Uber. And now, since you've canceled, they can't rate you. You need to get this bit of information in. You might want to text your next driver just to let them know that you have a lot of cargo. And also, don't forget to tip. Put that in there. They can't give you a bad rating, okay? They can only complain. And what are they going to complain? Because when you cancel, you put like too much. I think there's like too much luggage, or there's something about luggage or items or cargo or something on that. So you put that, and because Uber loves that, because they will respond to the passenger. We understand that there wasn't enough space in your last vehicle or whatever. Do you want an Uber XL or an Uber SUV? Uber loves that because they can upsell. They can make more money. So that's a trick. You're getting Uber on your side because they can make more money. They like that. Just so happens you're not an Uber SUV, but there'll be another one out there. Somebody else will love that, can make money, and you've already primed the customers that they should probably tip. You know, you might only tip $1, but hey, help a fellow Uber driver out. So, you want to clarify all of this stuff. You want to remain in control. I had one guy, I remember it was Uber Pool, and I drop him off at the I think it was the CVS, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm just going to be a minute." I was like, "Oh, no, sir, this is Uber Pool. I've already got another ride that I've accepted." And he was like, "Oh, well, just stop and pick me up when you're done." And I'm like, "No, sir, it doesn't work that way." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It's a pool ride. Uber didn't know that you wanted a return trip or had a second stop. Otherwise, it would not have allowed you to take Uber Pool. So I need to end this ride. You need to request another ride to get home." And he was all kind of, shaking his head and kind of giving me attitude. And at the end of the pool ride, I gave him a 1 rating because I knew he was going to do the same. And sure enough, he did. But, I have like 5,500 trips. Uber tallies the last 500 for your rating, so it didn't really affect me. I'm still like, 496 or something ridiculous like that. So these are things to think about. You want to remain in control. If you do pick somebody up from the Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, make sure you load the items and not the customer, not your passenger, because they are not going to respect your car as much as you do. So you don't want them to spill something on the carpet in the back, a powder, a liquid, or whatever. You don't want them to gouge the carpet. You don't want to scrape the trunk, especially if it's lined, mark it all up. So you want to be in control. You also want to assess how much stuff they have. So if you get out, take your keys, lock the car so they can't get in, because if it turns out that they were lying, or there's like, some 200-pound item or whatever, you're not going to pick that up. You want to make sure that they're not getting into the car and just kind of leaving you to, load them, or load the car for them. So you need to remain in control. You tell them how it's going to go. They don't tell you. All right. So I hope that's helped. If you like the video, please like it. Please subscribe. And if you have good stories or horror stories, leave them in the comments below. People, I'm sure, would love to read them to see kind of what tomfoolery some of your passengers have tried to pull. All right, guys, gals, gang, this is Sean from Ridesharing101.com. Please be safe.